NFL Films? Y'all gonna put me on? From a personality standpoint, TJ is gonna talk. He's gonna tell you exactly how he feels. Wake up, Cam! Wake up, Cam! Wake up! TJ Ward! Yo, welcome back. It's TJ Ward, and you're watching Safety First. Man, what an exciting weekend of football. Some good, some not so good. And I'm going to get straight to it because I know y'all been waiting for me and my reaction to my Ducks this past week, man. We took a devastating loss to the Indiana Hoosiers in the Peach Bowl. But you know what? We beat the Texas Tech Red Raiders last week in the Orange Bowl. And we're going to take the same grace in our loss this week in the Peach Bowl to the Hoosiers, man. Look, I'm going to keep it a buck. We started the game as bad as you can start any game. We threw a pick six right out the gate. And one thing about these Indiana Hoosiers that I've emphasized this entire season while watching them play is that they don't beat themselves. They are a disciplined team, and they execute week to week, and they do not shoot themselves in the foot. So briefly, I'm going to go over a little bit what happened in that game, man. We came out, Dante Moore throws a pick six right off the bat. Now we're behind the 8 ball. He comes back, gets his mind right. The team gets their mind right. Dan Ladham pulls us to the side and says, hey, let's do this. You built for moments like this. We go right back down the field and score 7. I'm like, okay, we got a game. And I always mention it's not what you do in times of error, in times of failure, but it's how you bounce back from them. And we bounced back, man, real smooth. We went right down the field and got 7. But we could not stop beating ourselves. And if you beat yourselves against a team like Indiana, you make it real easy for them to pile on and make it a blowout. We had 3 first-half turnovers, man. 3 first-half turnovers, 1 for a score, 1 for damn near a score. It was on our own 5. And then another one right before the half on our own, 35. So 3 turnovers like that in the first half puts you down 35-7 like we were. We were down 35-7. We end up losing the game 56-22. It was a rout, man. It was a straight-up rout. And you know what? I really, that's all I can say. They routed us, man. You got to give a shout out to Mendoza, man. He's a great player, man. That team, whether you want to say or talk about their age, they're just a great team, man. They're a great team, and I think they're going to go on and win this national championship. They got Miami, who's also a good team, who's playing against our ex-head coach and Mariota. But, not Mariota, Cristobal. I'm sorry, Mario Cristobal. It's going to be a good game. But at the end of the day, when you're playing a team like Indiana, they remind me of the New England Patriots, man. They got a great quarterback who's very accurate, who's very smart pre-snap. He finds all the mismatches that you can find, whether it's man-to-man, zone. He gets out of trouble with his legs. He does everything right. And when you have a quarterback like that and a team like that who can run the ball, be physical, play defense, don't turn the ball over, even when we had the opportunity to get the ball on fumbles, it just seemed like it bounced right back to them every time, and they didn't turn the ball over. That's the football guys, man. That's the football guys in situations like that. Man, we were down our backs. Davison was out. Winnington was hurt. Man, we had this young bull come in, Jay Harris, who was about to transfer. He stepped up, and actually, he's a good back, man. He's a good, heavy back. He falls forward. He's pretty elusive. I liked him. It sucks that he's transferring, but that lets you know the talent that we have in the backfield when it's hard for a running back like that to get on the field, man. Davison, I felt, his absence really hurt us, although he's only a true freshman. That boy can run the ball. He's elusive. He's a big play threat. He's powerful. He catches out the backfield. And, he's going to be great for us going into the future. But like I said, Mendoza, that back shoulder to Surratt, man, half of them plays, them receivers didn't even have to put their hands out to catch the ball. Them back shoulders was in those receivers' chests. Like, there was nothing that our DBs could do really to make plays on those balls, man, because you gotta respect the deep ball. You gotta respect the goal. And when the back shoulder is that accurate, it's really nothing you can do as a DB. It becomes very frustrating, but you have to respect the over-the-top ball. And Mendoza doesn't miss, man. The Charlie Baker cat, the deep ball guy, number 80, 6'4", he can run. And our cornerback, Finnehan Jr., I still think he's one of the best corners in the country. He doesn't get beat often, but like I said, when the ball is thrown that perfect, it's little to nothing you can do in those situations, man. So my question is, taking a loss, we caught a lot of flack across social media, across normal sports media. But I'm going to get into that later. I'm going to ask you guys out there a question. With Indiana having a roster that averages the age of 22, 23, is that the new recipe in modern day college football for being successful? Right? I'm not using that as an excuse for our loss, because we competed with them in the first game. We should have competed with them in this game, but in certain situations, they seemed a little bit more poised, a little bit more experienced, and quite honestly, built for every situation. Whether it's the poise that their coach and Signetti imposes and instilled in them, or was it just the experience that they had from coming from other schools and some guys being in their, most of their roster being in their 4th, 5th, 6th years competing at the college football level. And I definitely think that has something to do with it. Now, does it have everything to do with it? No, because you still have to go out there and play the game. You still have to have, great athletes. You still have to have guys that go out there and compete. But I will say, it is somewhat of an advantage, man. It is, because if you have guys that are well experienced, and it's not just what they did to Oregon, it's what they did throughout the season, right? What they did in the playoffs to Alabama, what they did to Penn State when they were down, coming in the odds and having that poise to win on the road, having that experience from players playing in multiple environments. It has some weight to it. Now, does it have all the weight? No, I don't think it has all the weight. We still have our amount of players with stars, but we all know when you look at NFL rosters and when you look at guys that last in the NFL, it's not all the 5-star guys coming into college. It's not all the first-round draft picks. A lot of guys that make it in the NFL and are successful in the NFL come from 2-3-star backgrounds. Myself, I was a walk-on. I played 5 years in college. So you can't say that doesn't have a weight on why Indiana is successful. Point blank, period. Now, is it all of it? No, it's not all of it, but you look at the NFL, you look at guys that play and have a long career in the NFL, man, they're playing multiple years in college. They're not first-round draft picks. They're not 4 or 5-star players. They're guys that, what we like to say is, get it out the mud. And I'm going to tell you what, Indiana have a roster full of guys who got it out the mud. And that's what it is. Hate it or love it. Indiana's in the national championship. I think soon to be national champions. First, in their storied history of playing football, and it can happen that quick for you. So shout out to Indiana. Congratulations to Indiana and Miami for making the national championship game. And I'm gonna have my popcorn, and I'm gonna be watching this with a big microscope, because it's going to be a game, man. Miami's a physical team and an athletic team, and it goes back to their quarterback is 7-year senior, Carson Beck. They played 7 years in this thing. So you can't tell me that experience and age doesn't hold weight when you get into the top of this national championship mountain in the college football playoffs. Now, going on to, is a thorn in my side is all the hate that my Ducks and we receive as a whole. Like, we are a relevant, more than relevant football program. In the last 15 years, we have been in BCS games back to back. We've been in, college football playoff games. We've been in national championship games. But all we receive from you haters out there is flack. And the number one thing you guys say is we haven't won the national championship. And you may be right, and you are right in that. But what I am going to say is that we are a dominant program, whether you like it or not. The Oregon Ducks are a dominant program. We want to talk championships. Now, before we talk championships, let's talk fan base. Now, what I know and what I hear from opposing fan bases is that we are one of the most humble, respectable fan bases in the country. And when teams play us, they are surprised by how humble and respectful we are to the opposing fans. So that's my first point. So if you have a fan base, and I know ex-players, we're not arrogant people. We don't go out there and when your team loses, first thing we do is texting you and calling you about your team losing. You know why? Because we don't give a damn. We worried about our team. The only teams that are worried about Oregon so bad is the teams that haven't done shit in the last 15 years. And I'm going to keep it buck. My guys, most of them that have won national championships in this league have been the top of college football, like my Alabama guys, my Clemson guys, my Georgia guys that went to Georgia. You don't hear these guys. The first thing when we lose is they got something to say on Twitter or Instagram or something about Oregon being this, Oregon being that, Oregon doesn't deserve to be here. I'm going to tell you, we deserve to be in every position that we are in because we kick ass throughout the year. We kick ass throughout the year. We have been, since my Rose Bowl appearance in 2009, and that's 15 years ago. You know how many bowl appearances we have? 15. That means we have been in a bowl game for 15 years straight. Most of y'all cannot say that. There's only a handful of schools that can say they've been to 15 bowl games in 15 years. And that's quality bowl games, right? Quality bowl games. Rose Bowl, BCS National Championship backdooring in 2010. Rose Bowl beat Wisconsin in 2011. Fiesta Bowl 2012. Alamo Bowl beat the Texas Longhorns in 2013, right? 2014 Rose Bowl win versus the previous national champions in Florida State. We lost that year in the national championship game to the Ohio State University, right? 2015, we were in the Holiday Bowl, I believe, right? Now, let's go back to get to some bigger bowl games. 2019 was the Rose Bowl win versus Wisconsin. 2020, a Fiesta Bowl versus Iowa State, which was a loss. 2023 was a Fiesta Bowl win versus Liberty, right? So, in the college football era, we are 2-3 in college football era. In the BCS era, we are 3-2. So that's 10 major bowl games, whether it's BCS or college football playoffs, in the last 15 years. We're 5-5. So if you don't have that record, shut the fuck up talking to us. Excuse my French. I got to go there. Because a lot of y'all just be hating. And it's mostly USC and Washington fans. It's mostly y'all two. But it's really everyone. It's a lot of just haters out there in the college football atmosphere. And I don't understand it. Are you mad? Are you mad that you don't have the appearances that my Ducks have? Are you mad that you don't have the relevancy? Are you mad that you don't have the camaraderie and that you can't go back to your school and get the love that we get? You can't even go on the sideline for half of these games. If your team is even in a BCS game, if your team can't barely make the Holiday Bowl, and when they do, they get their ass kicked. So don't talk to us about not winning the national championship. It's more to being dominant than winning a national championship, right? We are an elite program. Elite. Whether you like it or not, we're an elite program. We are up there with the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the LSUs. Who else? The Clemsons. You know why? Because every January when you turn on your tube to watch college football, you see the O. You see the O. Point blank period. When you turn your TV on in January, you see the O on TV. We're competing for a national championship year in and year out. And the more at-bats you get, the more likely you are to hit it out the park. And we're very close. Last year, we lost in the quarterfinals. This year, we lost in the semifinals. I say we get to the national championship next year, and we win it. That's it. It's all about progression. Is your team progressing or digressing? And if you look at the Oregon Ducks, we're progressing. Yeah, we have a couple of national championship losses in the last 15 years. But guess what? We have 2 national championship appearances in the last 15 years. 2 national championship appearances. Some of you motherfuckers ain't even been to a BCS game in the last 15 years or the last 20 years, let alone a win. So I don't want to hear your mouths. Stop talking to me. Get off my phone whenever we lose, because you tuned in hoping we lose harder than I'm watching the game. Get off our ball sacks. Get off our nut sacks. It's bothering me. I'm going to end some friendships fucking with y'all. I'm going to keep it a buck, because that's just straight haters. I don't fuck with haters. I don't mess with haters. If you hating on me, praying on the player's downfall, you can't be around me. That's period. It goes beyond friendly competition at this point. It's straight haterism. And you're getting on my damn nerves. Don't call my phone talking about my school, because I'm going to cuss you out. Straight like that. Now, on to the Ducks and our future. Dan Lanning is coming back, obviously. We just got news that our big dog DNs are coming back. Tatum's coming back. Ugalele's coming back. Mateo, he's coming back. Big dog DNs. Hey, we just got signed buddy from Nebraska. Ryan, what's his name? Buddy from Nebraska. The quarterback, Riola. Riola coming, he just signed. And I'm hoping, I'm going to keep it a buck. I've been saying this all year also. I hope Dante Moore comes back. Riola, you're going to have to ride the bench for a year like Dante did last year when he sat behind Dylan Gabriel. You're going to have to ride the bench for a year, because Dante, I believe, even though he going to be a top 5 pick, if he comes out this year, I'm going to tell you something about the NFL, man. Going into a bad situation can derail your entire career. Next thing you know, they be labeling you in a bus, and it's not even your fault. And I feel if you come back next year, you'll be the number 1 overall pick. I think Dante Moore is that good and can be that good to be the number 1 overall pick next year. This year, Mendoza got it. He going to be the number 1 overall. That boy cold. He cold. That's all I got to say. He's the best. And I said this before the game. I said he was one of the best draft prospects at quarterback in the last decade. I'm going to go ahead and say he's the number one. I'm going to go say he's the number one. He don't mess up. And when you have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes and is as accurate as he can and can run, like you may say, I said Joe Burrow. He runs like Joe Burrow. I think he's more accurate than Joe Burrow. And he's doing more with less than Joe Burrow, if you want to keep it a buck. He's doing more with less than Joe Burrow. And you could take the Kyler Murrays, you could take the who else came out? The Deshaun Watsons, you could take all those guys, man. Mendoza, man, he's him, man. He's him. You ain't got to worry about him going into no massage parlor and having off the field issues. You know, the Johnny Manziel's. I fuck with Johnny, but shit, it is what it is. The Baker Mayfield's, Baker's nice. But none of these guys have what this kid Mendoza has, man. And I'm going to just keep it a buck. So, yeah, you guys want to talk football with me? Don't talk football with me if your school's not in it. If your school's not in it, shut up. Talking to me, man. We lost to Auburn and Cam Newton in the national championship. Couldn't nobody beat them. And if it wasn't for that play with the running back not being down, we would have won that game. Then we lose to Ohio State twice. We lose to the national champions in the national championship. Last year, we lost to the national champions. Nobody could beat them. We only lose to national championship winners. We can't say that. So if we're not going to win it, we're going to lose to the winners. And that's what it is, man. Hey, shout out to the Oregon Ducks this year. What a tremendous season y'all had, man. Know that I always got y'all back, regardless of what these bums got to say about us. And I know my fellow Ducks feel the same way. And, hey, stay safe out there. It's a lot of haters, and there's a lot of people preying on your downfall, man. Watch your back and stay safe out there. Jaguars versus the Bills. Now, this game really went how I expected it to go. And not in my favor, and if you in Duval, not in your favor either. But it was a close game, 27-24. I think I predicted the game to be 25-21, and it definitely could have went in the Jaguars' favor, except for a couple key plays. And I'm going to get to those plays in a little bit. But here's a little breakdown. Josh Allen went 28-35 for 1 TD, 11 rushing yards for 33 yards. Now, it was almost a similar number stat-wise from Trevor Lawrence, almost, except he had 10 less completions. 18 for 30, 3 TDs opposed to 1 TD. But we all know what changes and wins games in this league. That's turnovers. Trevor Lawrence had 2 picks. One at the most crucial time of the game. One when he was supposed to go down and take the Superman cape from Trevor Lawrence and put his team and lead his team to victory. But instead, my guy throws a pick on the first 3 plays. I think it was on the second play of the drive. Just threw a pick right to a covered man, tip ball, game over. It was quick and easy. Travis Etienne Jr. Now, if the Jags were going to be successful, I said he had to get busy. He was going to be valuable in the passing game and valuable in the rushing game. And that he was. He had 10 rushes for 67 yards, 5 catches for 49 yards. That's 100-plus yards in production. He did his thing. He had a couple touchdowns as well, right? 1 or 2 tugs, John? 2 tugs. So he had 2 touchdowns and put his team in position to win the game. Now, another thing that I said that the Jaguars had to stop in order to win this game or even be in position to win the game is limit James Cook. And that they did. 15 rushes for only 46 yards. But the cold part about that, I said if the Bills couldn't get James Cook cooking, then Josh Allen would have to be Superman. And once again, that he was. Man, whenever the Bills needed a play, whenever the Bills were in trouble, Josh Allen was right there, man. And you got to give him his credit, man. You got to give him his credit. Josh Allen showed up. And if you ask me, who's the MVP of this league? It got to be Josh Allen. It got to be Josh Allen. I talked about it earlier. I said if you put another starting quarterback in any of these MVP candidates' position and they still make the playoffs, to me, that's not the MVP. Now, if you put somebody else in Josh Allen position in Buffalo, I don't think this team wins the playoffs. Now, you say they have the best secondary in the league, yada, yada, yada. No, they don't. No, they don't. Their running game is so bad that teams don't have to pass. And sometimes that gives you good numbers. I keep telling you about these numbers and you analytic, analytic viewpoints. God, dog, just fucked me up. That word beat my ass just now. That does not tell the whole story of these games, man. It does not. The Bills rushing is so bad this season that teams barely had to pass. Now, they did create big plays and big turnovers, middle of the season to the end of the season, in the passing game and really to close this game out in the playoffs. But overall, I think Trevor Lawrence was more bad than actually the Bills' defensive secondary was bad because, man, he threw for 200 yards. Like, that's not going to get it done. And I said that Trevor Lawrence would have to outplay Josh Allen in this game to win, and it wasn't even close, man. It wasn't even close. Like, Josh Allen pulled out every play when he needed to, run or pass. As a matter of fact, he damn near push from the 10-yard line for a touchdown. That's crazy. It was 4th and 2. The score was 3-7. Jacksonville went for it. On 4th down, they needed 2 yards. Now, you put Josh Allen in that same situation, the odds go up tremendously. Ain't no way Josh Allen don't get those 2 yards. And Trevor Lawrence is the same size and status. He pulled the ball on the RPO. And instead of just running, using your big body to get the first down on 4th and 2, you dive from your knee and you end up short. You dive into avoid contact when you 6'6", 250, 240. I don't care. You got to get that first down. Now, I still say take the points and kick it and go up 10-7, right? Or 10-3. But instead, you let Josh Allen get the ball and go 95 yards and score a touchdown. Now the game is what? 10-7. And from there on, they took the momentum. And that's exactly how you lose ball games. Now, the defense, I'm going to get on to the defense because they did a good job in stopping the run. Now, we knew that they didn't have the best pass secondary either, but they did create turnovers. Another thing Josh Allen didn't do, he didn't turn the ball over. And I think that experience from Josh Allen, matter of fact, I know that experience from Josh Allen won them the game. Like, do I have to be Superman sometimes? Yes, I do. But know when and how I have to be Superman. And he did exactly that, man, through the injuries of his hand on the goal line with his knee. He came through for the Bills, man. He came through. And that's why Josh Allen, now you may say, TJ, you would have said Josh Allen all season was Clark Kent, and he was going back and forth. He be going back and forth. If I'm lying, I'm flying. But this game, down in Duval, which I thought another reason why they'd get the loss, because Duval's a hard place to play, and Jacksonville, they do their thing at home. But evidently, I was wrong. And I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I ain't one of them. I was wrong. Josh Allen did his thing. So if you ask me, he's the MVP of this league right now over Matt Stafford, over Drake May. Because we seen Drake May last night And he didn't look great, man. And that's what I'm gonna start. I'm talking about. I'm talking about this right now since we on it. 3-16. They beat the Chargers. But no way, shape, or form did that give me an MVP performance. No way. 19-31 for 159 yards. 10 rushes for 57 yards. Oh no, that's Herbert's numbers. that wasn't MVP either. Drake May numbers 17-29, 268, 1 TD, 1 interception. Now, part of being the MVP, I will admit this for Drake May. He throws dimes in clutch situations. He puts the ball on the money. Even more, let's take the drive right before the half where they got that field goal going into halftime, where he ran for about 60 yards. I'm going to put that more on the Chargers defense. Like, where was y'all antennas? I know it's man coverage and all your backs is turned, but at some point, your spider senses have to know the ball is not getting thrown. Look back and find the runner. Golly, the Chargers was talking all that mess after they lost to us in Denver the last game of the season. When y'all have bigger fish to fry, you need to be, don't worry about the Broncos. Worry about this playoff match y'all got up. This playoff matchup you got. And there was another situation where they should have kicked the field goal early, right? You get down in field goal, you know this is going to be a tight game. You get down in field goal range, and you go for it on fourth down. I don't get it. It's an early game. It's 3-0. Take the money. Take the money. We all know in these situations, I don't know how many times I got to say it. The field goal is more than 3 points. It keeps your momentum. It keeps your morale. When you, especially after the turnover, your defense go out there, get the ball back for you in field goal range, and you walk away with 0. How deflating is that? How pointless is that? Get some points on the board. Now the defense on the sideline like, well, goddamn. We go out there, get the turnover, we get nothing from it. As a defensive player, as a player who's been in that situation, it's like, why? Like, get something out of what we just did. We just stole the ball, get some points. Now, New England gets the ball back. They have all the momentum. They have all the confidence. Backed up, they didn't give nothing away. And what do? They go right back down the field. This was a field goal game. You start that game off, get that 3 points, who knows how that game goes. But instead, you allow them to go down, kick a field goal in that situation, and then right before they have, they kick the field goal. So what they call that, the middle 8 or something like that? You lost in the middle 8. And then towards the end of the game, when you put Justin Herbert in a passing situation, you guys were able to tee off. Now, speaking of these Pats and these Chargers, a lot are you guys pointing your finger at Justin Herbert, saying that he's this and he's not that. Now, let's be real. If you are looking for Justin Herbert to get open or give himself time to throw the ball, your expectations are unrealistic. Now, my guy is out there doing as much as he can with what he has. His receivers can't get open. And half the time, frankly, they don't show the best effort to catch the ball. They dropping passes. They're not reaching out to catch other passes. Or they just simply getting strapped. Now, my other guy from Oregon, Gonzalez, until he went out the game, was eliminating his side of the field. Point blank, period. Elimination. Anybody that lined up on his side of the field was locked up. And if you ask me, he played an all-pro season. And then on top of that, when we get in passing situations, and my offensive line cannot stop a simple stunt game. They cannot stop simple stunts. And I tweeted about it last night. They were making these stunt games from the Patriots defensive line look like 10th grade trigonometry. It was the most difficult thing that they had ever saw in their lives. It's nothing but an up and under. Someone goes up as an interior lineman, I'm expecting somebody to come under. It's simple. Someone pushes, someone is coming back. It's simple football. For you guys and for that offensive line to get caught up on blocking one man on an up and under is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Justin Herbert was dropping back in must-pass situation, and they were teeing off on him like they were sending 8-man blitzes. It was ridiculous. And shout out to Justin Herbert for keep getting up. I keep getting up, and y'all want to be there to help me up. Get up off me. You wasn't helping me when the fat bitch jumped on me. Now you want to help me up off the, get off of me. I'll help myself up. Don't protect me now. You protect me after I done got slept and knocked out. Why wasn't you there knocking the dude out after he punched me? Or before he punched me? How about that one? But y'all want to rush over and help me up. Man, get up, get off me. Protect the man in front of you. That's all I need you to do. I shouldn't even be on this ground. But this is unacceptable. You want to blame it on Justin Hurts. You want to blame it on Justin Hurts. The running game wasn't running. The running game wasn't running. And when it was, you guys went away from it. I don't get it. What was the LA Charging coaching staff thinking? What were y'all thinking? Golly, it makes no sense. Stay consistent with the run. It was a low-scoring game. Why abandon the run? Why start drop back passing every play? It makes no sense. Greg Roman, oh my, see, look. Greg Roman, OC. He didn't do such a great job in Baltimore. I don't know why anybody would bring him along to be his offensive coordinator. I don't understand it. Look, Greg Roman is known for disappearing in the playoffs. Known. Track record for disappearing in the playoffs. And you know what? It looked exactly like a Greg Roman offense. Exactly. One-dimensional. The routes, lame. Lame-ass routes. But then our guys got to catch the ball, too. The receivers got to catch the ball. Y'all got to catch the ball, man. Help your quarterback out. Man, that's all I'm going to say on that one. I'm done talking about it. But, hey, the Chargers, y'all better get something fixed, man. If I was you, Jim Harbaugh, I wouldn't be bringing Greg Roman back, and I would be looking for some offensive linemen. I would look at Indiana. Go to Indiana. They got some offensive linemen. Go get some of them. Because this offensive line was trash. Rams, Panthers. Now, there's some rumblings that Carolina should not have had home field advantage in this matchup. But I'm daring to say that they should have got home field advantage, even though they were only 8-9 coming to the playoffs. The Rams were 1-3 versus NFC South opponents. And it was a great game. Hey, down in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Panthers call their home. I have one question. Well, I have multiple questions, but I have one question specifically. Who played a better game? Our guy Bryce Young or our guy Matthew Stafford? Now, if you ask me, I'm going to go with Bryce Young. I'm going to say Bryce Young played a better game and honestly put his team in position to win that game, especially with the late fourth quarter score. Now, the numbers are pretty even. Bryce Young was 21 of 40 with one pick and 250 yards. Matt Stafford was 24 of 42 with one pick and 295 yards. Now, Matt Stafford did get the ball last. But the reason you may be asking, TJ, how could Matt Stafford have played worse than Bryce Young when he led his team to a game-winning drive, so forth and so forth. I'm going to say for a couple reasons. When the Carolina Panthers needed a big play from Bryce Young, he delivered. Now, you got to remember, they were down 14-0. And pretty much his team did a couple things to help them lose that game. One being a muff punt, the other being Coker not completing his route on the interception that Bryce Young did have. If he would have kept coming across the field, that ball would have never been intercepted. Now, and I say that Matt Stafford didn't have a good game and definitely didn't have what I would consider an MVP game, is because a couple of missed throws. One was to Devontae Adams down the sideline on the left side of the play, on the left side of the field, that would have been a game-breaking play. You cannot miss your receiver on that open pass, right? My second issue would be the missed interception on that game-winning drive by Nick Scott. That pass was an errant pass by Matthew Stafford and almost ended the Rams' season. If it wasn't for the drop, some might say Puka knocked the ball out of his hands, but regardless, he threw the ball directly to the defender, directly to Nick Scott, which would have ended their season. That is not a game-winning play. That's a game-ending play. Now, they got lucky, got the ball back, and he went down and made a dot to the tight end, which was an amazing catch, by the way. It was an amazing catch, and they scored a touchdown. Now, there was another instance in that game where these situations have been occurring a lot in the NFL, especially during these playoffs. The Rams were up 17-7 with the opportunity to go up 20-7. It was fourth down, and Sean McVay decided not to kick the field goal and go for it on fourth down. And they missed. And guess what Bryce Young did? He took that ball right downfield the other way and got another 7 points, which made the game 14-17. And it changed the whole trajectory of the game. It changed everything about that game. Now, the Rams had their backs against the wall, and overall, really should have lost that game, if you ask me. They should have lost that game. Now, these playoffs are all about matchups. That's why I said it really didn't matter about what the records of these teams were coming into this game. It's about the matchups. They lost a close one during the regular season in Carolina. So that let me know it's a good matchup for the Panthers, especially at home. Another reason why I said that this was a good matchup for the Carolina Panthers is because their corners, Michael Jackson and J.C. Horn. Now, they played J.C. Horn, he did his thing, man. He didn't even get many targets to his side. But Michael Jackson, he balled out. He had one interception against Matthew Stafford, which was also a bad throw. He slipped the route, came up under the receiver, and picked the ball off. It was a nice interception. That was a play, right, Jerm? On the 7 route? Out route? 7, yeah. It was just great coverage. He read the route completely, came up under it, picked it off. But my dog Jalen Coker, Jalen Coker, 9 catches for 134 yards, man. He was out there killing. It's an undrafted free agent we talking about. Undrafted free agent. Of course, McMillan, he did his thing as well. Chuba Hubbard, he did his thing. You know, the Panthers, they got a bright future. And Bryce Young, he's coming into his own. And I said this game wouldn't get him one because he used to playing in big games in college. I know this is NFL, it's not college, but it's the same sentiment. It's the same type of energy. You need the same type of poise, calmness, and competitiveness to be successful in these games. And that's what he has. And he led his team back in the second half of that game to ultimately win it. Now, what I do have an issue with is how Carolina played the Rams on that last drive. They just sat back and let Stafford sit back there without any pressure. They were basically in the prevent, a cover 4, a cover 3, and they let them go right down the field. I don't agree with that. In these kind of situations, you have to play normal game situations. You have to get after the quarterback. If you sit back, these are NFL quarterbacks. They will go right down the field. And even check downs with one missed tackle will turn into big gains. You cannot allow that to happen. And I feel that really Carolina and their defense, they beat themselves in this game. They beat themselves. They pretty much shut Matt Stafford down the entire second half. You get into that last drive and you start playing a preventative style defense, and that's how you lose ball games. And that's how you guys lost the game. And then you don't take advantage of turnovers. He threw the ball right to my dog, Nick Scott. You gotta pick that up. Because when you drop interceptions, they usually score touchdowns. And that's a fact. Whenever you drop interceptions, whenever I was playing and we didn't take advantage of the ball hitting our hands, the offense takes advantage of that and they go down and score touchdowns. And that's exactly what happened in this game. So, looking at this game and also looking at the rest of these games, would Matt Stafford still be your favorite for the MVP? And I'm going to say no. He hasn't been my favorite all season because of games like this, because of games versus Seahawks, because of games like the Atlanta Falcons game. Even the games they win when they beat the Niners, I still wasn't convinced. Now you say his numbers are astronomical. Look at these numbers. Look at the touchdowns. Look at the receptions. Okay. I'm not looking at numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I watch the game. I look at you on situationally based performance. What are you doing when the going gets tough? What are you doing when your team really needs a big play? What are you doing to match the performance of the other quarterback? Are you getting touchdowns in the red zone or are you kicking field goals? Those are the things I look for. And for those reasons, that's why I said Matt Stafford wasn't the MVP. Now, he has the no-look pass and all that. That's great. He had one in the game this past weekend where he got the linebacker out of his zone and threw a dig. It was great. It was nice. It's a Harlem Globetrotter try shit. But I do not feel that the Rams are going to win a championship with this style of play from Matt Stafford. And I don't think he's the MVP. I feel that if you put another quarterback in Matt Stafford's position, the Rams will still be in the playoffs. And if you don't agree with that, I don't care. But you tell me I'm wrong. If you put another quarterback in Sean McVay's offense, another starter, I'm not necessarily saying a backup or a number 2. You put any starter in Matt Stafford's situation, these Rams are still in the playoffs. And I know I talk a lot of mess about Josh Allen being Superman or being Clark Kent. But that's not the case with the Buffalo Bills. That's not the case with the Buffalo. I can argue that's the case with the New England Patriots as well, with Drake May. But if you put another quarterback with the Buffalo Bills, they are not in the playoffs. And it's as simple as that. So if you ask me, my MVP right now would be Josh Allen, hands down. And I would have said the winner out of that Jaguars-Bills game, depending on how Trevor Lawrence played. Well, Trevor Lawrence didn't play well at all. He played terrible, to be exact. And he threw an interception in the biggest moment of the game, early in the drive. So I'm going to have to either go with Caleb Williams or Josh Allen. I like how you play in cutthroat situations. What are you doing when your back's against the wall? How are you carrying your team? If I put another starter in your position, will your team still be in the playoffs? That's the things I look at. So to answer your question again, no. Matt Stafford is not the favorite for the NFL MVP. Now, speaking of Caleb Williams, we're going to go into this Packers-Bears game. And what a game. Now, it was looking bad for the Bears early, man. It was looking very bad for the Bears. They're on an 18-point deficit. 18 points. Scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. Cardiac Caleb. When the game was all but over, the Bears rallied back to win the game. Now, Jordan Love was having an amazing game the first three quarters. He even scored in the fourth as well. But we all know this is a complete team game. And special teams, a lot of times, decides wins and losses. And I'm going to go straight to the kickers. I'm sorry, Brandon McManus, B-Mac. 0 for 2 on field goals, 3 for 4 on extra points. That's not going to get it done for your team. That's a total of 7 points. That's a touchdown. You cannot leave those points hanging. Now, my dog Santos, when the Bears couldn't score, he was kicking them field goals and nailing them to the wall. Kept them in the game. Kept the game at 21-9. 21-9. That's 2 scores. That's all that Caleb Williams needed to come back and secure the win for the Chicago Bears. Jordan Love was 24-46 for 323. Caleb Williams was 24-48 for 366. 2 TDs and 2 interceptions, where Jordan Love threw 4 TDs. No interceptions. And still lost the game. So did Caleb Williams really outplay Jordan Love, you ask? I don't think so. I don't think he honestly outplayed Jordan Love. But we go back to these numbers, man. Numbers aren't always the tell-all to football games. Because in the clutch, in the key moments of that game, 4th and 8, pressure on your back, rolling out, Caleb Williams throws a dime to Roman Dunze. Keeps the sticks moving. Play the game. Play the game. If they don't get that ball, if they don't get that first down, Packers have the ball in Bears territory, and they're going to score again, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. Clock winding. They don't have enough time to come back, and they don't have enough points to come back. Play the game. Play the game. And Loveland for the Bears, I say this all the time. The tight ends in today's game have become the safety blanket for these quarterbacks, the outlet for these quarterbacks. If you don't have a great receiving tight end that catches the ball in clutch, catches the ball in traffic, you're not going to be a very successful quarterback in this league. And Caleb Williams has found his guy in Loveland. That boy be balling. He been balling, especially the second half of the season. Just flat out balling. And you know who else has been balling? It's been an ace in the hole for the Chicago Bears this year. Swift. DeAndre Swift. Whether it's receiving out the backfield or running or in the red zone, cutting back, making plays out of nothing, he's been exactly what the Bears need. He's been balling this year. He's found a resurgence coming out of Philly, right? They didn't want him. And sometimes when, a team don't want you, You got another chip on your shoulder. And that's what Swift has become. And I dare to say that he's become more physical because that was kind of the knock on him. Oh, he's not physical. He's always avoiding contact. And I'm going to tell you from week one, I noticed it. He came into this season with that on his mind because he's been trying to run through cats. And he's been doing it. He's been doing it. And he's been talking shit at the same time. So shout out to him, man. Sometimes, when somebody else don't want you over here, or what they say, somebody else's trash is another man's treasure, he's become a treasure for the Chicago Bears. I'll tell you that. And Caleb Williams would not have liked to hit that field without him. So, hey, man, discipline. Did the Bears win it? Or did the Packers defense lose it? Who's the guy of the post-game comments, Jerm? I'm saying that the Bears didn't do nothing, they lost it. Bullard, the safety. Yeah. First off, that may be true, but you don't say that after the post-game because you still lost. So you shouldn't have did it anyway. You shouldn't have let them come back, whether they took it or you gave it to them. It's still theirs. It's still theirs. But they did play. They played, especially on the screen and go. You know you're up, and that's where panic sets in. They panicked on defense. They sat back and pretty much played quarters, cover six, another preventive style of defense, and they let Caleb Williams architect that win. And that's exactly what he did. Now, were the Packers missing big dog Micah Parsons? I would say so. I would definitely say so. Micah Parsons allows you to make pressure without blitzing, without losing someone in coverage. Whether he gets the sack or not, he creates pressure. And Green Bay definitely missed that pressure in the clutch. Because Caleb Williams, he can get out of those situations. But Micah Parsons makes it a lot harder to. I'll tell you that. And not only not having Micah Parsons, but you didn't have Wyatt and you didn't have the guy that you traded Micah Parsons for. So you really were missing 3 D linemen. You were missing 3 starting D linemen in that play. So, hey, man, shout out to the Bears, man. Shout out to the Bears. They came back. Wayne was on the gridiron. We was talking about when since the Titanic was the last time the Bears beat the Packers in the playoff game. Well, we have to redig that Titanic up because it happened again this weekend. My game of the week, Eagles 49ers. Now, I sat back all week after my prediction and after a few things I said this year about the Eagles, about Jalen Hurts, about A.J. Brown, about Coach Sirianni, and just how the Eagles have progressively been a factory of drama. It's been a soap opera over there. Whether it's Jalen Hurts playing the same style he played to get you guys to one Super Bowl and win another, and me saying that if he goes away from that playing style, you guys become less successful. You tried to nail me at the stake. Or if I said that A.J. Brown, if he gets 100 yards and you guys lose, he'll be happier with that than not getting the ball and you guys win. You guys want to hang me for that. Or if I said, for example, coming into this game that your linebacking core was not good in space and could not cover against opposing running backs, and this will be the way that the 49ers will get a victory versus you, you guys told me I didn't know anything about football and that I'm an Eagles hater. I'm not an Eagles hater. Quite opposite. I was born an Eagle, technically. Check this out. So, did you guys know that my dad was drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles out of college, out of San Diego State? I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that he has a NFC championship ring and was part of the Super Bowl team that lost to the Raiders in 1980 or 81. I don't know what year it was, but it was around then. It was before I was born, but I bet you didn't know that either. But a lot of things you Eagle fans don't know because you don't sit back and listen. All you do is talk loud, obnoxious, and dead ass wrong. How could I be an Eagles hater? How? I'm not an Eagles hater. But the one thing that I do know is that you Eagle fans hate the truth. You hate the truth. You hate when people give it to you straight up and down. And if they don't agree with you, like most fan bases, but you guys take it to a whole nother level, then the All-Pro, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champ doesn't know anything about football. Make it make sense. But I tell you what, I didn't pick every game right, but I picked this one right. And the San Francisco 49ers came into your home and kicked your teeth in. I bet you didn't know I was from San Francisco either. Born and raised, yep, from San Francisco. So it's really funny because these are two of my favorite teams growing up. Two of my favorite teams, the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. And that's why this was my game of the week. Now, before we get into more of why you guys lost the game at home, let's get into what the 49ers did to get that win. 361 total yards. Hey, they didn't go to Mars on you guys, but they did get enough yards to get the win. Another reason, you guys in turnovers in playoff games usually get the dub, right? Winning the turnover battle usually gets the dub for you. But when you don't do anything off of those turnovers, you cannot capitalize on those turnovers. And you guys did not capitalize on those turnovers. You know what? Another thing you didn't capitalize on was the 49ers losing one of their best targets early in the game in George Kittle. He tore his Achilles, and you guys didn't do anything to capitalize on that. You know why? First off, you gave up big plays. One being on the first play of the game. To who? I don't know who this guy is. Demarcus Robinson, didn't nobody know who this guy was until late in the season because the Niners had so many injuries on the offensive side of the ball, specifically at wide receiver, with Pearsall being out and Brandon Ayuk being out. But does it matter? No, because the San Francisco 49ers are one of the most notorious teams at living up to the statement, next guy up. And Coach Kyle Shanahan does that the best. It's not so much the players, it's the system in place. What I cannot say the same thing for you Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni. Because when you're loaded, you look like the best thing going. You look like the best show on turf. You cannot do anything wrong. But as soon as you guys miss one player here, O-lineman there, running back here, receiver there, you guys fall to hell. And that's why I knew you would not win this game. Not because you weren't talented enough to win the game, not because you didn't have a good enough team to win this game, just because of karma. Karma at the end of the day removed you from these playoffs. You won a few games early by the skin of your teeth. You told me that your defense was the best in the league and you guys had the best secondary and your secondary was playing as good as they played all year. Not giving up a 60-yard pass the first play of the game, right in between your zone coverage. And another reason, may I ask, why were you in so much zone? You told me Kyle Shanahan wasn't never successful against a Nick Fangio's defense. That was not the case last night or the night before or whatever the game was. That was not the case. Purdy, 18 of 31 for 262, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. My guy, Demarcus Robinson, had the game of his life. When you talk about stepping up, this guy stepped up. 111 receiving yards, 61-yarder on the first play of scrimmage for the San Francisco 49ers on offense. And then the dual threat, CMC, the guy I knew was going to break your hearts all game long. 48 rushing, 66 receiving, 100 plus in total offense, and 2 TDs. One he caught from a wide receiver named Jawan Jennings on a trick play. So not only did they out-scheme you, they outsmarted you, they won using every facet of football that they could. Now let's get to Jalen Hurts. 20 of 35, 168, and 1 TD pass. 168 is not going to cut it. Saquon Barkley, 26 for 106 yards. For that first half of football, I was looking like the Niners weren't going to be able to stop the run all night. But they hunkered down and they stopped the run and they made Hurts throw the ball. Now, I'm not going to put this all on Jalen Hurts because our guy, A.J. Brown, has some key and critical drops and key and critical moments. Now, the wind was blowing and the ball was swirling up in that air. And I seen Tom Brady explain after the game that he commented on about how you have to throw the ball in the wind. I'm not sure if everyone else saw that, but I sure did. And I've absolutely seen Tom Brady throw the ball like that. And I've noticed that playing against him and while I was playing and while he was playing, that he would throw the ball looking like he was almost tucking it. And he said, you can't throw the ball in a U shape. You have to throw the ball in a C shape, meaning the grip of your hand around the football. And that made absolute total sense because you want the nose of that football diving down in that wind, not carrying up in the wind. So, you know what? I'm not going to blame the drops all on A.J. Brown, too. You know, some of those, you know what? I'm lying. I'm going to blame the drops on A.J. Brown because you got to catch those balls. You got to catch those footballs. You're the number one receiver. You get paid the big bucks. Not only do you get paid the big bucks, you cried all year about not getting the targets. That's why you got to take all this blame, big dog. All year long, you pouted and you moaned and you threw temper tantrums after the game to the media, online, and to anyone else that would listen about how you were disappointed and that you weren't getting the ball, getting the targets. And when you did get those balls and get those targets and you lost, you were all smiles. But when you didn't and your team won, you were all negative energy. And that's another reason why you guys are one and done. The energy was off with the Philadelphia Eagles. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, all that you saw in the Super Bowl winning year was out the door. It was out the door. When you focus on trying to give one receiver the ball, like I've been saying all season with Jalen Hurts, instead of just doing what he does and finding the open guy in key moments that would usually win the Eagles the game, he was looking for A.J. Brown. And when he did allow the ball and get it to A.J. Brown and it touched his hands, guess what A.J. Brown did this season? He dropped the ball because the energy was off. The football gods do not play, man. They do not be playing. When you don't deserve it, you don't get it. And that's just a fact for you. That's just a fact. The Eagles were 5 of 16 on third down. They're 5 of 16 on third down. Where was the defense? I said, and I keep telling you I said because I know this shit, man. I know this football shit. I said that the Eagles were allowing up to 22 yards per game this season. And the Niners were going to find a way to go over that average that the Eagles were allowing. And they scored 23 points to the Eagles' 19. I know this shit. And I also said that they were giving up a passer rating of over 100. That means that they like to give it up the buns to opposing teams' running backs. And you know what the San Francisco 49ers were in running back passer rating? They were perfect. 152. Whether it was CMC or Hughes-Check, everyone from the backfield caught the ball. So all this, we got Bond and Dean. They had dropped them boys in zone coverage, and they still couldn't cover. All you got to do is sit in the zone. It ain't man. They still couldn't get it done. And that's where I said they would be exposed. And they were exposed. They were exposed in the middle of the field. They didn't even have George Kittle. And they were still exposed. Purdy threw 2 picks. Now my dog, the corner, 2-7, he played a hell of a game. Quentin Mitchell played a hell of a game. He had a hell of a season. He played a hell of a game and tried to keep your Eagles in it. But the Eagles could not capitalize off of his turnovers, and it went for nothing. And that's the worst thing you can do to the defense, is turn them turnovers into nothing. That's the worst, because now you're going to have the defense turn on you. We're going to be mad at the offense now. Like, God damn, y'all ain't doing nothing with these points. We're getting the ball for you. You can't do nothing with it. And that's exactly what happened, man. Drop passes, missed opportunities, bad juju. That's what they call it. Bad juju. And that's what happened to the Eagles this year. So, man, y'all out the door on to Cancun, and it's okay, man, because y'all need to regroup anyway. And Sirianni, he was talking too much. When you needed motivation from your coach, he wasn't there. But when you guys won games, i.e. Buffalo, he up the tunnel talking trash. And I noticed something when he was talking trash about, you're not making no noise now. You're not making... A.J. Brown was standing right beside him coming up that tunnel. And A.J. Brown looked at him crazy. A.J. Brown looked at him like, man, if you don't shut your ass up and get in this locker room, that's exactly how he looked at him. And it's no surprise that when A.J. Brown dropped that pass and he was walking off the field and Sirianni ran over to tell him to get his ass off the field, he looked at him crazy and probably started cussing him out. Because, in my opinion, you're one of the most childish acting coaches in this league. So your players are a reflection of you. If you act childish, your players are going to act childish. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, hey, congratulations to them Frisco Niners, man. Hey, pop your collar one time if you in the Bay. Bang, bang, Niner gang. All that good stuff. I'll see. Look, Broncos, Niners, Super Bowl in Frisco. I'm telling you. I'm going to be good with that one. Man. Hey, look, appreciate y'all joining me. It's TJ Ward, Safety First, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your aunties, and share with your uncles and your grandmas, and you talking about sports. Don't forget to stay safe. Safety first.